Welcome everybody to another episode of FYC Film Review. I'm your host Ganya, with me my partner Naldo, and we are here to talk about a long-awaited sequel. So long, we were babies when the first one came out.
Yeah. What's up, man? What's going on, everybody? Okay, let's just do this. Let's get into it. It's been what, 30 plus years since the original came out?
36.
36, 7. Okay, whatever.
Yes. Long
Beetlejuice,
time.
Beetlejuice. I have been waiting for this movie for a very long time. The juice is loose, and unfortunately, the juice is sour. This movie was bad. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, 35 years, and I start to remember now that you maybe don't need to revisit things that are that old. Because this felt it. It felt stale. It felt lacking the creative vision that I think Burton had in the first movie. The fun of the first movie really
yep.
was really just missing in this. I was with you, man. I was so excited when they finally announced it. It was like, Keaton's just he's on this incline again towards the end of his career, and he's having a great time. He's getting to revisit old characters, and Beetlejuice was amazing.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know.
I'll tell you what happened. It was it was a story. I
Okay.
think they just tried to cram way too many stories in this with Lydia's wedding and then the soul sucker of a wife, which is funny and ironic.
Yeah.
And and then you got the storyline with the boy who lived in the treehouse and the parents. I'm not going to ruin it for people what happened there. And then you got the dad story. It's like all these stories. They didn't stick with one story, make it a good one. The story with the boy and Jenna Ortega was fabulous. I thought that was a really good story.
Sure.
Fizzled out, really fizzled out. Nothing there. And I don't know what's going on with Hollywood that they like. We don't need all these stories. Give us one good story like the first one.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like eight different ideas and all trying to play out at the same time, and yet nothing lands because you just don't get enough of anything. I don't like the new characters that they added. Winona
No.
Ryder's fiance or boyfriend that becomes a fiance is just kind of
Gosh.
obnoxious. Like, and I like Justin Theroux. Like, I think
Yeah.
he's a decent actor. He's a good writer. Like, it didn't feel right or needed, or
Yep.
like he just, like you said, a throwaway wedding. Why? Just because so you could say, oh, he's using her like that. There was nothing there to that.
Right.
It's very frustrating. The Willem Dafoe, again, love the character, love the actor, but it just didn't work. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand why it was necessary. Why? Because he was chasing down Beetlejuice's wife that he had all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh. The Soul
Whew.
Sucker. And we get an origin story. We get Beetlejuice origin story, which I don't know if it was needed. Like it was a grave robber from a long time ago who was just a bad guy, and
Why the
I don't know
decision for the Spanish like
the
throwback? Like,
language.
yeah, was Beetlejuice supposed to be Spanish? So why isn't he speaking Spanish normally, like now?
Uh,
Like, I didn't understand any of that.
yeah, yeah. Although I'll give you this, Michael Keaton still has it. I mean, you can tell he's older,
Absolutely.
right? He still has it.
Absolutely.
That was like the one thing that I really like seeing. Lydia Dietz, Winona Ryder, she was a shell of her former self. She
Yeah.
was so timid and shy. I'm like, where's the Lydia that we know?
hmm it was almost like they did her dirty. They like did after 30 years, like you couldn't tell a better story than she's this sad, lonely woman who lost her husband in some goofy accident that like,
Yeah.
while I appreciated the story arc of having the dad there and getting to see him one more time, the death was just kind of stupid. Like,
With the piranha,
yeah,
with
the
the
piranha
shark,
sticking
the
out.
shark
Yeah.
or something.
It's the piranhas. The
Um,
shark was the dad or the grandpa or
yes,
whatever you want to call.
yeah. Speaking of the grandpa, Catherine O'Hara, I loved her in this. I for some
So
reason
good.
I thought she was
She's
delightful. She's just delightful in it, and she's
she
actually nicer, right? She's
Right.
much
And
nicer in
she
this.
actually like felt like her character. I mean, Beetlejuice, again, aside, she
Yeah,
felt the most like her character from the first one, where you
right.
appreciated it and like loved her, loved her death. There wasn't like this was so bad that there weren't moments I laughed. It just felt very arduous to get to those jokes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Hollywood trying to rehash these 80s movies and trying to give us more. It's almost like more, 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 more. And maybe less is more, as they say, with the one exception being Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick did it
Mm.
just right. So maybe the third Beetlejuice installment, maybe we just get Tom Cruise to be in it or do something with it. I
Maybe
mean,
just
why
put
not,
some
right?
jet fighters in it. That would be helpful.
Good grief, man. I don't know what to say. The Dale song, the wedding song with the now it's a disco, a really unforgettable song. The whole scene just took forever, and I'm like, I'm never gonna remember this. No one's gonna remember this song. This is ridiculous. Get out of here. Oh,
Yeah, such a weird choice of a song, and nowhere during that time was I like watching the movie thinking, man, I really hope they do a throwback to, the original and everybody has to sing a song that they don't know. Like it was fun in the first one. It was at a dinner party. The
yeah,
the concept was because they were trying to haunt the people so that they would leave the house. So like all of that made sense with what was going on. And this is
right.
just a jumbled mess of, like you said, too many storylines, way too many storylines, too many
Yeah,
things going on, and less focus on the people that you love and the characters that you love. Like I wanted the Lydia story. I wanted the,
yeah,
Delia story. I wanted to see the daughter and how the daughter, obviously should be the one to wake Beetlejuice up because she wants to see her dad. There was so much there, and they
yeah.
just kind of shook it up and dump it out and go, all right, this is a fucking movie. And you're like, what? What happened?
Exactly. There was little moments there. I'm like, oh, when he's playing the guitar and he's singing the Richard Marx song, I thought, oh, that's
Yeah,
great. That's
clever.
wonderful.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
those moments were far and few in between. So we are
yeah.
left with this jumble mess of just a bunch of stories that really don't make sense. They don't really tie together. And it's just like, okay, well, here's Beetlejuice. Welcome back, I guess.
Yeah, I guess there was a
Whatever.
lot of weird shit, and the Soul Train thing, like it just it was so much. I was like,
Ah,
oh man, we just got to trudge through this one in order to get to the next scene that I would actually care about. Like, why do I need 5 minutes of the Soul Train? I get it. I get the joke,
it
guys.
was
Yeah,
way
it
too
just
long.
just so
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
way too long. Let's rate it. I'm ready to rate if you are.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. I think we got to go with Sandworms, who made an
Okay.
appearance. So, how many Sandworms are you going to
Mm-hmm.
give Beetlejuice?
Okay, 1 to 5. One sandworm being awful, five being great. Who wants to go first?
I'll go
You can go.
first. I've been
Okay.
kicking this back and forth. I was kind of initially at like, oh, this is good, maybe two sandworms. It's
Mm.
not. It's a sandworm and a half for me.
Wow. Okay.
I
Wow, you went
just
really
didn't.
low.
I
Okay.
did. I went really low. Like I was
Yeah.
very disappointed with the execution on this because there's just too many good people involved that like you're
Yeah.
shocked somehow that it ended up like this in the end. Like maybe best of intentions for everybody,
Yeah.
and it just didn't pan out the way it should have been, and it's not really rewatchable. I don't think I'll ever watch this movie
Right.
again. I have
Yeah.
no interest after the hour and 45 minutes gave to it. So 1.5.
Ah, but okay. It's got some mixed reviews though. Some people are like, "Hey, it was pretty good." I'm just
Yeah,
thinking, "What? Did we watch the same thing?" Okay, here we go. You went with 1.5, right? That's
yeah,
really low. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
I'm going with 2.5 because
Oh,
because
okay.
I can't really hate too much on the juice because I love
Yeah,
Beetlejuice, right? But it's just a jumble mess. I don't blame the actors. I blame the writers in this, and maybe a little bit of Tim Burton. It's almost like where is the story?
yeah.
Where's the story that we got in the first? Just stick with one good story. And then, like I said, the story with the boyfriend or the love interest for Jenna Ortega was fabulous because I
Cool.
didn't see that coming, and it was
Mm-hmm.
great. It had like a Sixth Sense type of weird, creepy feeling. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go with that. Nothing. So I'm going with 2.5 sandworms. I'm hoping if there is a third one that it'll be much better, and I'm hoping that Tom Cruise is in the third one to save it.
Wow. Okay, so that's much higher than I would have expected. But hey,
Yeah,
to each their own. I love Michael Keaton and will love him forever. And Beetlejuice is a great character. But
yeah.
I don't know, Tim. Might be time to hang up the hat. We'll
Mm,
see. Let us know,
okay.
folks, what you thought of Beetlejuice, what you thought of our review. And we appreciate you guys watching FYC Film Review. I'm your host, Gagne. With me, my partner, Naldo. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one, everybody.